Good evening. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, for this video, I wanted to review Impact Wrestling's Emergence 2023 show that just took place this past Sunday, August 27th. Wanted to go through the card and just give my thoughts on the matches. To be honest with you, I felt like it was average-ish. Just to keep it real with you, felt like the show overall was average. But one second. Here we go. But yeah, let's get started. Emergence 2023 this year took place at the Rebel Entertainment Complex in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So went up north, and we had a total of 10 matches, and 2 of them were pre-show matches. The other 8 were the main card. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with our first match. Once I can find the graphic. There it is. Alright, let's get started. Okay, so to start off the pre-show, the countdown to Emergence, we had a singles match. Alan Angels versus Speedball Mike Bailey. To be honest with you, I thought this was actually a very solid match. You know, for this to have been a pre-show match and the way that these two went back and forth, I felt like it should have been on the main card, to be honest with you. Yeah, I felt like this match did better than some of the main card matches. You know what I mean? So, these two went at it. And I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed this match. But Speedball Mike Bailey was able to pick up the victory, pinning Alan Angels after hitting him with an Ultima weapon. And yeah, Speedball with a win in the pre-show for Emergence. But I felt like this really should have been on the main card with how well this match was. But it is what it is. Alrighty, let's go into the next pre-show match. Alright, we had ourselves a tag team match. We had the team of the Good Hands, which is made up of John Skyler and Jason Hotch, taking on the team of Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura, which apparently they're now together called Joya. Joya, as in Joya. Joya. This is a really weird tag team. But you know what? The match was actually good. I felt like the match was good. Just the teaming of Joe Hendry and Yuya Uemura just is kind of weird. But they work well together. They seem to have worked well together in this match. So, you know, looks like they may blossom and become a legit tag team, which seems like they're on their way. But overall, this was a good match. Both teams looked good. But Joe Hendry picked up the victory, pinning Jason Hotch after an assisted cutter double team between him and Yuya Uemura. And Joya, the team of Joya, pick up the victory. And yeah, they looked good. They actually looked good. They had on matching matching trunks and, ring gear, so I thought that was really cool. But a weird pairing, but it looks like it's a pairing that just may work in the long run. We'll see. But, hey, they picked up the victory, so it's working, right? Okay. Now we get into the main card of Emergence. Alrighty. We had a singles match, no disqualification. We had Diener, accompanied by Khan, taking on Eric Young. 1 second. So, this is a no DQ match. Also, shout out to Eric Young. He came out to the ring with a mask that had the initials for Wyndham Rotunda and Terry Funk on there, so I thought that was pretty cool to see. This match was alright. You got to see all sorts of weapons, tables, ladders, barbed wire, trash can lids. You got to see a whole bunch of weapons. This is pretty much a hardcore match. So, between these two it's a very fitting match. But the outcome, now that I think about it, didn't really surprise me as much as I thought it would. But Eric Young was able to put away Diener, pile driving him through a barbed wire board, and then covered him for the 1, 2, 3. And yeah, Eric Young, ever since he returned to Impact, he's kind of been on a roll. He's looked to have been very dominant since his return. So hey, I don't know how much longer they're going to keep this storyline going between Diener and Eric Young, but I don't know if this necessarily settles it yet, but we'll see what happens. Alrighty. Next up, 1 second, let me fix this. Okay, here we go. Next up, okay, so we had the Knockouts World Tag Team Championships on the line. Now, they did make a change to this match. Just a FYI, they made a change. So, the competitors were the champions, MK Ultra, made up of Masha Slamovich and Killer Kelly, defending against the SHAWntourage of Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans, versus the Coven, which ended up being Kilynn King, and filling in for Taylor Wilde was Jody Threat. So it ended up being Kilynn King and Jody Threat as the team, versus the Death Dolls of Jessicka, Havok, and Courtney Rush. So slight change to the match, out with Taylor Wilde and with Jody Threat. For the most part, the match was alright. I was pulling for MK Ultra the entire time, and I figured and was hoping that they would end up winning. But, the match was alright. I can't say it was, whole lot of craziness. But I was digging the finisher, the double team, tag team finisher with MK Ultra doing a double pile driver on Courtney Rush and then pinning her for the 1, 2, 3. It was a pretty cool finisher. Really cool finisher. But MK Ultra successfully retained the Impact Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. So congrats to them. I think they're a great team. It's funny with me saying that because I've never really been big on the Knockouts tag team division, especially since ODB and Eric Young were the longest reigning tag champs, which is an insult. But there's no recovering from that, so it is what it is. All right. I don't have the graphic for this next match, but we'll go ahead and go into it. Next up was the Digital Media Championship on the line. As the champion, Kenny King defended against Johnny Swinger. Of course, Kenny King had Shelton Jean in his corner. To be honest, this match bored me. I'm gonna just keep it real. This match bored me. Really, really bored me. So, it was very meh. Very meh. But Kenny King picked up the victory, pinning Johnny Swinger after hitting him with a royal flush. And he is still your Digital Media Champion. I'm just glad they got the match over with. Honestly, something like that should have been a freaking pre-show match. But, yeah, that match was so boring. But it is what it is. Okay, before we finish the rest of the card, here's a quick word on the sponsor for this video, Game Beauty. As you continue to watch and enjoy Blitzball Champ gaming content here on the U to the Tube, be sure you take a moment to check out the link to the description for Game Beauty. Game Beauty offers a variety of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. They offer items such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, eyeshadow brushes, and even non-makeup items such as these graphic t-shirts. They also have collaboration items like this Persona 5 Royal Limited Edition makeup collection, as you can see here, which you can get it as a full collection, or you can get different bundles of this collection, as well as different pieces separately. Also, Game Beauty offers free domestic and international shipping to most countries for orders over $60. And be sure to use the promo code Blitzball_champ, all in caps, and you can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to take advantage of that nice little discount. And now, back to our regularly scheduled video. Enjoy. Alrighty, let's keep the show going. Next match, we had the back to school match, which this turned out to be not what I thought, but it was Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian. Both were students trained under Killer Kowalski, and this was, you know, a very special match, I guess, recorded. It kind of, you know, the way that they did this kind of looked like a movie in a sense, but they had the wrestling match at the same training facility where Killer Kowalski's school. That's where the match was. They exchanged some words. Frankie Kazarian gave Eddie Edwards a cheap shot. Then they eventually, ref came out, got him in the ring, and they had a wrestling match in that Killer Kowalski training facility. The match was I mean, I guess the way they kind of did it like a movie, I guess, was a nice little touch to it. But honestly, it just, I don't know. I just felt like it was another Kazarian Eddie Edwards match that just, I don't know if it was anything special. Like was it really necessary? Like, was this match really necessary? Honestly, don't think it was, personally. But Alyssa Edwards eventually shows up, kind of gets involved. Turns out to work in Eddie Edwards' favor, as the distraction to Frankie Kazarian was enough for Eddie Edwards to hit him with the Boston Knee Party and then pin him for the 1-2-3. So Eddie Edwards wins. They attack him afterwards and humiliate him. They busted one of those pictures on the head of Frankie Kazarian, so pretty much humiliated him after the match. But the match itself, nothing really special, to be honest with you. But that's just me. I need to backtrack because I actually skipped a match. I need to backtrack. So my apologies on that. But I'll have the card listed in the correct order. But let me backtrack to the match that I missed. Okay, so before the back to school match was the Impact World Tag Team Championship match, where the champions, Subculture, made up of Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, accompanied by Danny Luna, taking on the Rascalz of Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. This was an awesome tag title match. Definitely enjoyed both teams. Went back and forth. Was really, really good. Really good. And could have gone either way. It was loaded with interference, though. It was loaded with interference. But I think for the most part, it still was a great match. I mean, we saw interference from the Good Hands. We saw interference from ABC. Just all over the place. But when it was all said and done, Zachary Wentz pinned Flash Morgan Webster after him and Trey Miguel hit sort of a diving stomp, burning hammer combo. I don't know if they have a name for that finisher, but it was a nice little double team finisher. Wentz with the pin, 1, 2, 3. The Rascalz are your new Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions. Was kind of a little bit bummed, being that Subculture didn't really have the titles that long, so kind of bummed about that. But you know, the Rascalz are back together, and you know, they're the champs now. So I mean, it is what it is. I like both teams. I do like both teams. So at least overall, it was a great match. So I can't really be too mad. Can't be too mad. All right. Let us get back on track now. Let's get back on track. All right. Now, after the back to school match was this singles match. We had the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion of SANADA taking on Jake something. Now, of course, this was a non-title match because remember, Evil has the championship because remember, he took it after defeating SANADA in the G1 Climax. So, yeah. But that still didn't deprive us of a good match. And I have to say, Jake something looked really good in this match. He put up a great fight against SANADA. Was definitely quite a clash of styles between these two, and I think this is probably the first time these two have wrestled each other, but they put on quite a great match. One of the few great matches of this card. But, and not only that, SANADA just, you know, hitting Jake something with everything. I mean, the skull end, a TKO, a moonsault, and he was escaping it and kicking out of everything. So great fighting spirit there from Jake Something, which he's looked really good ever since returning to Impact Wrestling. So this match was awesome. Definitely one of my favorites of this card, which there weren't many. But when it was all said and done, it eventually came down to quite an exchange, but SANADA was able to counter the Into the Void and hit Jake Something with the deadfall and then pin him for the 1-2-3. So SANADA is your winner. Afterwards, great sign of sportsmanship, shaking hands with Jake Something, and just a great moment there. But yeah, it was a great match. It was a really great match. So, but yeah, it was good to see SANADA back in Impact Wrestling. Remember, he was a former X Division champion, so Impact Wrestling is still familiar territory for SANADA. So it was good to see him come back. Okay. Next up, this was definitely my favorite match of the card for obvious reasons, and it was quite chaotic. Here we go with the 8-man tag team showdown. On one team, we had Josh Alexander and Time Machine, of course made up of Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, and Kushida. And they were taking on the team of Bully Ray, Moose, Brian Myers, and Leo Rush. This match was all over the place, and I loved it. Oh yeah. It was really good to see, everybody showcased, especially for me. I'm big into Motor City Machine Guns, Kushida, Time Machine, so I was rooting for them the whole entire time. Now, of course, there were also some shenanigans that happened later on in this match. We saw PCO come out and try to get revenge on Bully Ray. Got dropped through a table and then just got back up like it was nothing. So that happened. Steve Macklin returned as well. Steve Macklin. So he returned. Later in the match, there was incidental contact between Josh Alexander and Alex Shelley. He was pretty much shoved into him. Alex Shelley didn't take kindly to that, and he ended up walking out of the ring and leaving Josh Alexander in there. As soon as he turns around, he eats a spear from Moose. Moose pins him for the 1-2-3. So, quite a weird sign there from Alex Shelley, just leaving Josh Alexander to pretty much eat the pin, and just the team loses. So, very interesting ending, but I'm very curious to see what happens with Alex Shelley, Josh Alexander. Steve Macklin is back. And we have to remember, Josh Alexander never lost that Impact World Championship. He had to vacate it due to injury. So I'm sure some way, somehow, he's going to be back in the picture. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Okay. And then the main event of Impact Wrestling Emergence 2023. Showcase the ladies. That's right. This is the runback, the rematch for the Knockouts World Championship. This time, Trinity, the champion, defending against the challenger, the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. Now remember, Deonna Purrazzo is a 3-time Knockouts World Champion. And remember, Trinity dethroned Deonna Purrazzo to win that championship. Which I believe Trinity is still undefeated in every match she's competed in since debuting in Impact Wrestling. So she's been on a roll. She's been booked really, really strong, and she is on a roll. really showcasing her. Match was excellent. Both ladies definitely back and forth. Deonna Purrazzo threw everything at Trinity. I mean, the Fujiwara armbar, the Venus de Milo, the Queen's Gambit. She threw everything at her. But it took a second Starstruck attempt, because the first one wasn't enough from Trinity, and not even the split-legged moonsault was enough. But it took a second attempt at the Starstruck submission from Trinity that eventually made Deonna Purrazzo tap out. And once again, just like before, tapped out to Starstruck. So deja vu all over again. It was oh so nice they had to make the same finish twice. And Trinity is still your Impact Wrestling Knockouts World Champion. So congratulations to her. There was kind of a little bit of sportsmanship at the end, but you could tell Deonna Purrazzo was a little agitated, but it is what it is. But yeah, also has been noted that Jordynne Grace will be returning to Impact Wrestling soon. And apparently Will Ospreay is going to be booked for a show, I think Bound for Glory, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. I have to check back at that. But that should be pretty interesting to see. And then with that being said, I kind of want to see upcoming shows for Impact Wrestling now that Emergence is in the books. I know they got the Fallout. Well, the Fallout already happened. That was today. Oh yeah, you got Impact Wrestling Victory Road. That's September 8th. Dang, that's next Friday. And then September 9th, the day afterward, is the 1,000th episode of Impact Wrestling. Wow. So that ought to be interesting. Both shows will be in White Plains, New York. Let's see, Mid-South Mayhem in September 22nd, 23rd. Looks like a much smaller show. But then the big one, Bound for Glory, pretty much their biggest show, will be in Chicago at Cicero Stadium, October 21st. So I know they're going to probably get started booking the card for that. And then, you know, what was announced not too long ago is Impact's going to be doing a UK tour. As a matter of fact, they're going to be doing 4 dates. So October 26th in Glasgow, Scotland, and 3 shows in England, 1 in Newcastle, 2 in Coventry. So October 26th through the 29th. That's the Impact UK Evasion tour. So that should be good. That's all that they got on their schedule for now. That's all that they got. But, you know, looks like the next big show will be Victory Road. The next, like, big pay-per-view show is Bound for Glory. That's in October. So, you know, we got a little ways to go. September is right around the corner. Just a few days left of August. But, yeah. So, we'll see what happens. But, that does it for this video. Don't forget to check out the link to Game Beauty. And also, let me know what y'all's thoughts are on this card. What did you think of the show? Honestly, I thought it was average. I thought it was average-ish. But let me know what y'all thought. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Pro Wrestling Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. My name is Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace.